Hi Dean. So what are your thoughts on the Villa game now? Do you look at stats like the XG and things like that after a match?
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, we've got all that detail if we want to use it. Yeah, we watch the game back and we have our own opinions. Physical stats we look at as well. So I thought the first half we were very good without having that cutting edge. Goal chalked off for offside, which been proved probably wasn't. Very good chance with Matty Taylor as well, and one with Fan as well. So I mean, there's small margins in big games like that. You know, if you get that first goal away to Aston Villa with a 42,000, I think was there in the stadium, it changes. You know, the second half, they were better than us. Second half, they got in behind us. We were probably a little bit loose without the ball, and loose with the ball as well at times, and turned over possession. Probably a little bit more than we've become used to recently. And overall, even late in the game, we still had chances to get back in it. Obviously, Max has made some incredible saves throughout the game. But we take it on the chin, we move on. We've got two fantastic games in such a short space of time coming up now, and we have to focus on them.
And referee Scott Duncan, are you able to say what your caution was for? Do you know?
No. I know initially when the Vyman's goal was wrongly given for offside, I told the linesman that. And I was warned by the fourth official to sit down, otherwise I'm risking a yellow card. So I did exactly that, sat down. And a couple of minutes later, the ref came over, and I have no knowledge at all as to why. But it's been a while since I got a yellow card, Brandy, so I've got to be honest, I think. And obviously then Mackie got one, you know, shortly after, and it became a bit of a pantomime, I think. I think fans come to pay money to watch the game played on the pitch, not for the referee to stop it and come and give yellow cards. But they're the rules, they have to follow them. And as I say, we take it on the chin.
I make that the 7th of the season for Bristol City's bench, equal with Crawley Town as the most booked benches in football. Is that something to look at, or is it?
No. I think it's important to be respectful to the officials, of course. You know, I've done the referee's course myself, and I know how hard it is. It really is. And there's going to be human error involved, but at the same time, we're chasing the Premier League, and there's a lot of passion, a lot of emotion in there. So I know the gaffer's a big advocate of VAR, and you know, Vyman, for instance, has been on the wrong end of 3 goals already this season, chalked off. At the same time, Tammy Abraham goes through second half, and slightly onside, given offside. So you know, we've been on the right side of some of the decisions as well. It's not sour grapes. It's just, I think, you know, going forward there might be something they could look at. I know the gaffer had a long conversation yesterday with the Match Officials Association, and you know, they apologised for a couple of the decisions that went against us at the weekend. Unfortunately, it's too late for that, but as I say, it's human error. We move on.
How's the squad looking for Friday?
We're pretty solid. I mean, Callum O'Dowd is back out on the grass this morning with the physios, and that's looking good for him. He's back, you know, he's out of the treatment room, and he's, you know, he's maintaining his fitness now, and hopefully pushing for a recall to the squad pretty soon. I think Mike was due back pretty soon as well, and apart from Frankie Fielding, I think we're quite strong. Corey trained today, trained well. I mean, we've talked about the squad for a while now, Greg, haven't we? And you know, this weekend now, this Easter weekend, is 2 games coming up in such a short space of time. It's all on now, isn't it? And we've got to make sure that every player in the squad is ready to play.
Were you at the under-23s yourself last night, Dean? And those guys are putting a bit of pressure on as well, I guess, because Antoine scored, didn't he, and Liam as well.
It was a good performance, really good performance, not just from the first team players, but yeah, the youngsters as well. Unfortunately, picked up 1 or 2 injuries of a couple of young players. But yeah, 2 really good goals. And it was a good game. Birmingham played 2 or 3 lads that have been in and around their first team as well, and it was a really good game. And yeah, as I said, that's all they can do. You know, they go out there when they're not in the first team, they go out for the under-23s and perform well, and educate the kids as the young players at the same time.
Just on Max, you mentioned there, we've just been speaking to him ourselves. Can you give us a bit of background on him? What's he like in training and that? And how long has he been around the first team picture? Because obviously he's had a pretty sensational season this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in around it for a few years now. He made his debut quite a while back with West Brom, I think. Like most goalkeepers, young players have to wait for the chance. Unfortunately, it's down to injury or suspension or whatever to get in. And when you get in, you've got to take your chance. And Max has certainly done that. He's a workaholic. He works long hours as they all do. To be fair, with Coles, they're never off the training pitch, and you know, he's very calm, very quiet. You know, relaxed, really good-natured, great lad. to bits, and really pleased for him on the weekend.
So back home on Friday, obviously a different manager there at Reading, Jose Gomez, but do you expect a similar game to the one that was at the Medeski Stadium earlier this season?
Well, I think we tweaked our style slightly since then. We dominated possession on that day and did everything but score a couple of goals, really, didn't we? It was a really, really good performance in some ways, but without no real cutting edge. So, you know, they've got a different manager. They're playing slightly different themselves. They brought some players in as well in the January window. So, no, for us, it's going to be a real tough game. I mean, going forward, they've got some real pace. Oliveira down the middle's a good striker, someone we've got to keep our eyes on. But we've got one or two ideas that hopefully we can expose their weaknesses, and we've just got to take care of that game. It's the only game we're thinking of. I mentioned there about the 2 games in 3 days. That's for the staff and the support staff to take care of that. For the players, it's all about Friday. We've got to get Friday right, get the performance right, and hopefully continue this season. It's been brilliant up to now. We've got 5 games in front of us. A fantastic challenge in front of us.
Just finally, after the Aston Villa game, Lee Johnson mentioned in his post-match press conference about in future possibly moving the away fans away from the Atio. Would that be something you'd be in favour of as well? Do you think it would make a difference?
It's the first I've heard. In what context are you talking about?
In terms of how Villa obviously house the away fans in that corner, don't they? Not actually behind a goal.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of having the away fans behind that Atio end.
Yeah, I mean, logistically for the football club, that's something they'd have to think about, of course, with segregation and all, things like that. But I can see what the gaffer means. Yeah, when that full Atio, the Atio's full of away fans, it can be brilliant from their point of view, but at the same time adds to the atmosphere as well. So,
because I think it's a strange quote that there's been a lot more goals scored down the south stand end rather than the Atio. Is that part of Lee's thinking, or is that?
I don't. You'd have to honestly. It's first of You'd have to ask him what his thoughts were on that. I'm not too sure.
No worries. All right. Cheers, Dean. Good luck for Friday.
Thank you.
Dean, I just wanted to go back to Max O'Leary. Another great performance from him. How much of a headache is he giving you and Lee Johnson? Not necessarily for this season, but looking ahead to next season and him perhaps taking that #1 jersey.
I don't think it's an headache at all. I think it's a brilliant challenge to have. He's another young player that's come through the academy, which is performing really well, making everybody proud. And, he works hard every day, as I've just said there, and he's always got to think about his next game. It's always got to take care of. Next year he's contracted. There's no worries about that in terms of losing him, and yeah, I mean we'll assess that as a staff come the summer in terms of how many goalkeepers we're going to need. But, you can't have enough players who are in form.
Yeah, that's next season. Ahead of that, we've got 5 games left. Excited for the challenge ahead. 5 games to go. Every chance of getting there into the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is I think we talked recently. It's a 46 game season, 9 months. It's a long old slog, the championship, and now we're in a position now with 2.5 weeks or whatever it is left. 5 games. It's all on now, isn't it? Every game there's something on every single game, and now it's a brilliant position to be in. I think the fans are appreciating the position we're in. Of course, we've had disappointments like the weekend, but the squad's ability this season to be able to focus on the next one quickly has been a real strength for such a young squad, and that's why we're confident with the game's coming up thick and fast. We've got one more than most teams. Obviously, we've got the Millwall away game as well. That's why we're confident the squad that we've got. If we can maintain our performances, it's going to be really exciting into the season.
Thanks, Dean.